James, can I ask where the club are at the moment in terms of the search for the new manager?
Yeah, so we met yesterday, myself and the board, so that process has begun as well, so that's a positive, and we're just obviously going to crack on with that, and anything else to announce will obviously be updated through the club.
How quickly do you envisage that getting sorted out, do you think?
Yeah, I think the club have kind of said in a statement that they're looking to try and move pretty quickly, but obviously we'll follow the proper processes and hopefully get the right person in.
Have you had quite a lot of applications, quite a lot of interest in the job? Yeah,
there has been. I think like any time a job comes up, there's lots of people that are lots of good people certainly that are maybe out of work just now. So we've had lots of applications, lots of interest, and we've identified one or two as well ourselves. So we'll crack on with that in the coming days and see hopefully get somebody in soon.
James, will you be in charge for? Sorry, James, will you be in charge for the weekend game?
Yeah, well, we're preparing, myself, Andy and Gary are preparing as if we're going to be in charge. The boys trained well this morning, and as I say, we'll prepare training for tomorrow and then prepare for the match on Saturday.
When you talk about the time scale for the appointment of the manager, are the board at a situation where they're interviewing people, or are they at the situation of ready to appoint?
No, we've obviously still got to chat to the candidates that we've identified, so that will take place, and it's once that's complete, then we'll obviously look to appoint someone.
James, can you tell us if you've got it down to a short list or how many's in the short list?
Yeah, we've identified the ones that we're going to take forward for interview. So that's begun as well with that process. So and once we get a kind of a chat to these candidates and get a feel for them, they get a feel for us, we'll have a better idea of where we're going to go moving forward.
How difficult is it given the circumstances? I take it's all Zoom chats that you're having.
Yeah, it's obviously strange times we're in. It's not ideal, but I say it's kind of what we have to do at the minute, and I say we'll do it to the best of our ability and crack on with that.
Is there a sense of urgency around how crucial this sort of managerial appointment is, given where you are in the table at the minute and securing that top flight football next season?
Yeah, I think obviously, like I said earlier, when the club released a statement when the manager had left, then we were looking to try and do that as quickly as possible, but at the same time making sure we follow the proper process and get the right candidate through the door.
I know you mentioned that you're obviously planning to take charge for the weekend. Have you looked as far as Wednesday? Because obviously the games come thick and fast. Would you expect somebody to be in by Wednesday? Would you hope for that game?
I don't know, to be honest. I think, as I say, these things can be done pretty quickly, or they sometimes take a little bit of time as well. So our main focus as a staff just now is for Saturday's match. And as I say, anything that comes after that, then we'll prepare for it, whether that's us taking it again or potentially supporting a new manager that's coming into the building.
Kilmarnock have obviously lost another few players to COVID last week, and then there was the outbreak in October as well, plus injuries. How hard's that been on the squad? Obviously losing Alex Dyer now in terms of morale and getting some consistency going forward.
Yeah, I think that's just I suppose problematic for a few teams and just the whole of society at the minute. It has been a lot of kind of stop-start, strange situations. But we won't use that as an excuse for anything that goes on in the pitch. We've got a good squad here and we prepare accordingly.
You pick up any injuries from the other night game?
6-pointer?
No, I think we're all right. Yeah, it's a big game. Anytime you play teams round about you as well, it can be seen as a 6-pointer. So it's important that we kind of go and express ourselves as well on Saturday. We felt with some good parts against Celtic. Obviously, we conceded some goals that we would obviously hope not to moving forward. But yeah, we've added a couple of lads just before the window closed as well, and they've trained today. That's the first full training session, so we look forward to seeing them in action.
Talking about the COVID situation, James, you may have heard that the Dundee United player who tested positive through the club testing, and then the NHS test said he was negative and he was allowed to play in the match or be part of the squad last night. You had a couple of tests last week. Were they both positive tests, or were there any of them negative when they went to the NHS?
I don't know, to be honest. I think they were positive as far as I know. It wasn't a case of them being allowed back in it at that stage, certainly anyway. So no, we've just kind of followed the guidelines guided by the NHS as well. So no, as I say, I've heard a little bit about the Dundee United one, but not too much as I've been preparing for training today. Were
you aware that if you tested negative with the NHS, then you were eligible to play?
No, to be honest, but as I say, I usually guided by that on our medical COVID officer and our COVID officer as well. So that's kind of probably above my pay grade, shall we say.
Are the new signings ready to start?
They're certainly in the mix. As I say, it's really only their first day's training today, but they've made a good impression this morning in training. We always allow them a little time to settle in, but I think they're here, they're hungry, and they're willing to learn, and they're excited to get started.
Are the next two games probably the most vital in the next run of matches, just to pick up points, to try and put yourselves up the table a bit? I
think you always just look to the next game, to be honest. If you look too far ahead, you can get stung in the tail. So no, Saturday's a massive game for us, as they all will be between now and the end of the season, but our main focus is Saturday and preparing for that as best as we can.
James, what's the timescale on the injured players that are out, the likes of Kelty and Malumbu, Finlay and Broadfoot?
Yeah, we're kind of mixed bag with that. Some will hopefully be back in the next kind of week to 10 days. There might be some that need a little bit longer as well, and obviously they're key players for us. But to say, we've got a good squad here, and it's an opportunity for other people to come in and show what they're all about.
What do you expect from St Mirren on Saturday?
They've obviously been on a decent run of form themselves after the probably disappointment in their semi-final, and they've had some good performances even when they've lost the game. I think obviously the other night they were well in the match, and they lose a goalkeeper obviously to the red card. So Jim Goodwin's got them playing well, got them scoring goals. I think they're playing a little bit of confidence just now as well. So they've got, I suppose, a number of threats in the forward areas. So that's something we need to be aware of.
Are you looking forward to going to St Mirren and being in the dugout for that one?
It's not something I've really thought about, to be honest. As I say, it's been a hectic week so far. I'm just kind of taking each day at a time and making sure we prepare accordingly for that day.
You sort of talked about obviously taking it one game at a time and not looking too far ahead. When you've been speaking to the boys and trying to get them lifted after the recent results, is the messaging about not getting sucked into a relegation battle, or are you looking at these games to sort of come out of that fight? Like, are you looking at avoiding relegation? What's the sort of target you're setting the boys? What's the message?
Yeah, I think it's to go and win the next game. I think it's going to express yourself, show that you're a good player. Now I've been in a situation where you come in a run of results where you're not winning. It does affect your confidence a little bit, but it's up to obviously the staff, the backroom staff, every department that supports the players, whether it's analysis, medical as well, to show these boys that they are good players, and just to remind them of that on a daily basis. And as I say, certainly for them to express themselves in the forward areas, certainly just because they want to go and score goals, and that will help us win games.